guys, and welcome back, or if you're new here, hi, hello. My name is Emma, I'm 6 years old and I am gluten-free. And I am gluten-free because I have celiac disease. If you don't know what celiac disease is, it's an autoimmune disease where basically my gut attacks itself when I eat gluten. So I'm unable to eat gluten, and I've had celiac disease since I was 10 years old, and it was a really lengthy process to get diagnosed, and it took a lot of time and a lot of doctors and a lot of doubts as well to get diagnosed with celiac disease. And I will do a separate video on celiac disease in the future, just talking about it. And I'm currently in recovery from anorexia, so I usually talk about the struggles of having anorexia and celiac disease and trying to balance out the lifestyle basically and my needs. And today I decided that since I realized a lot of my followers on my Instagram and a lot of my subscribers are actually gluten-free as well, I decided that I'm going to do a video showing my gluten-free favorites and do a little haul thing of what I usually get on my weekly shop for gluten-free things, and just some of my favorite things, and just share it with you guys. Because there are a lot of people out there that are new to being gluten-free or new to having celiac disease, and a lot of people who have anorexia who have celiac disease and they don't know what to have for like snacks or just in general. So I just decided that I'm going to share a few of my favorites. So I have a big bag here filled with food. So I just got my shop from ASDA here. I also have a couple of things from different stores as well, but I'm just going to go ahead and talk you through them. So I'm going to do the cupboard kind of things first, then I will move on to doing like a few of my frozen bits, because I don't have the frozen bits upstairs because I don't want them to defrost obviously. So I'll do just like kind of like a little picture kind of thing of the frozen food, so you guys will be able to find it. So let's get straight on into it instead of just talking on and rambling on, and let's get on to the food cupboard kind of thing. So the first thing that I absolutely love to do, other than order myself a Domino's pizza, my second go-to thing when I don't want to spend like £13 on getting a pizza delivered from Domino's, as much as I love Domino's pizza, it's just so expensive and I can't always justify paying £13 for delivery for a gluten-free pizza for myself. So when I don't order myself a gluten-free Domino's pizza, I use Schar pizza bases, and these are by far the best pizza bases that I have found. So I have tried lots of different other ones. I've tried BFree pizza bases, I've tried to make my own pizza base, I've just basically tried them all, and these have been my favorite since I was first diagnosed. They had them out and I've used them ever since. So what I usually do is I bake them in the oven for a little bit, about like 5 minutes, then I add my toppings on, and then I add it back into the oven for a further 10 minutes, and I get the perfect kind of pizza base that I absolutely love. And you can see more pictures like here and here of my pizza creations, you could say, that I make. So I often make like 3 cheese pizzas, cheese and tomato pizzas, and it's just like my absolute favorite. So definitely go ahead and buy these Schar gluten-free pizza bases. So then next on my list is going to be, once again, it is a Schar, because I would say Schar is my favorite gluten-free bread. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing that wrong. If I am, apologies. But anyways, it is these gluten-free waffles by Schar, and these are just so divine. They are so delicious, and they're just perfect for a snack or for your breakfast, and you just pop them in the toaster, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Like, they take about like, it depends on how you like your waffles. If you still like them kind of really soft, then only put them in for like 2 minutes at the most in the toaster. But if you like your waffles more like a crunchy kind of texture, leave them in a little bit longer and they'll get the perfect things. So these aren't too pricey, I would say. You get 4 in a packet, and I think they're definitely worth the money, especially if you have like toppings on them. And my favorite toppings, my go-to toppings, are either icing or syrup. My next favourite thing is actually from Tesco, so away from ASDA, and that is Tesco's own brand cereal. So for a long time I used to buy, you know, the free from that says gluten-free, dairy-free cereal, and then I realised since I'm not dairy-free I don't need to buy that cereal. And I noticed that I'm in a lot of pages on Facebook, so one Coeliacs in the UK for example, and I see lots of people talking about this cereal, and instantly like alarm bells was ringing because I was like, well, it's got barley in it. And sometimes in the Coeliacs UK app, basically if the level is below 20 parts per million, then it is classed as gluten-free. Therefore, the barley in this is so low that it wouldn't affect a person with celiac disease or anything like that. So I am actually able to eat these cereal and not get ill off them because the level's just so low. And they're on the Coeliacs in the UK app, so they're definitely are gluten-free, and these are just my favorites. So they're basically Cocoa Pops, and they're much cheaper than the free from version. So definitely go ahead, if you're not dairy free, then go ahead and get yourself some Cocoa Pops because they are really delicious. Then next in my bag I have something that's actually quite new. I don't think they've been around too long, and that is the old El Paso 6 regular gluten-free tortillas, and these are the original ones, and these are a perfect size for lunch. I usually have 2 with my lunch, and they're just so delicious. Like, I've tried, once again, lots of the different brands. I've tried the BFree wraps, I've tried Borderlands wraps, and I've just never found a good wrap until I tried these. And these literally, like, I had to check the packet to see if these were actually gluten-free, because I know they say gluten-free, but when I was eating it though, I was like, whoa, these taste far too fluffy, far too real, and they're actually like, you know, they're able to like bend over without like breaking apart or anything. And I was actually getting freaked out thinking that I consumed some gluten, but then they're 100% gluten-free. The only thing about these are they're pretty pricey, and you only get 6, but they're definitely worth the money if you want to go ahead and have like some gluten-free wraps. And then we have another Schar thing, which is this Schar gluten-free hamburger buns. These are just the best buns I have ever tasted. So once again, I've tried lots of different brands, and these are my favorite. These just come out on top. These and probably the Tesco's own rolls are probably the best. So the Tesco own rolls are ideal if you're having, like, I guess if you're having something like a tuna sandwich maybe. I wouldn't use these rolls for anything other than a hamburger, like an actual burger or veggie burger if you're vegetarian. But these are definitely ideal, and they just look like, you know, McDonald's nice golden soft fluffy bun, and they are really fluffy and they do taste like normal buns. And I usually put mine in the oven before I add like my burger and stuff, and they're just, yeah, they're just perfect. They're really nice. Definitely go ahead and get yourself, so you get 4 in a packet. Once again, pretty pricey, but most gluten-free things are nowadays, so it's kind of unavoidable. So then the next thing I have here is a BFree. So as I mentioned, I've tried a couple of the BFree products, and I wouldn't say I'm a huge fan of the BFree products. I think they're nice, but I think they can also be kind of dry. But the thing that I found that aren't that dry, and I generally do really enjoy them, and I haven't had them in quite a while actually, are these BFree pita breads. So you can get these ones, or you can get the snack size pita bread, which is like pretty much like what you would say, because these are the big ones, as you can tell, really nice and large, but you can get the snack size ones, which is basically just a smaller version, like half of this basically, and they're also really ideal. But these are perfect for packed lunches or a really like quick lunch or whatever. They're really delicious too. Then next we have my these are like my all-time favorite things because I use them for so many different things. So I use them for hot dogs, I use them for, you can do like pizza kind of things on them, you can use them for general sandwiches, like sweet kind of things as well. So if you want to have like a Nutella roll or whatever, these are my go-to thing. They are just so delicious, and that is these, which are the gluten-free white Cibatta rolls. You can get the brown versions of these as well, but I always go for the white version. And they currently have a new recipe that's just came out as well. It's just they've got extra virgin olive oil in them, and it just makes them brown and they just taste even better. And you get 4 in a packet, and I think these are £2. So definitely worth it. And they are wheat free and lactose free, and they only take, so these are so you have to like put them in the oven for just a little bit, or in the toaster. So I usually put them in the oven for about 5 minutes at a preheat oven, and they come out perfect. And I use them for everything. Like, you will see them, if you watch my previous videos, you'll probably see them come up quite a lot, and in my future videos especially, because I have just became obsessed with them. The only issue I found with these rolls is that sometimes they often have holes in, like the actual roll itself, and sometimes I've had to put the odd one in the bin because they've just been so holy. But with the new recipe, they haven't been that bad. And also another thing I've noticed that they can go off quite quickly if you have them open. So I usually freeze 2, so I usually would take out 2 or whatever and have 1 in my bread bun and have like 1 for like a sandwich kind of thing. And then I would often put 2 in the freezer just to keep them, to make sure that they don't go off, because I've chucked out so many of these before. And it really sucks when you chuck out gluten-free food, because you know you pay a lot of money for it and you really don't. I hate wasting food. I hate wasting it. Then over here we have another Schar gluten-free product, and these are, let me just check if we have any more. Actually, before I mention the sweet treat kind of snacky kind of things, I'll just mention, actually, you know what, everything else is going to be really snack kind of related thing, so I'll just get straight into the sweet kind of things. So another one of my favorite ever snacks, most recently I've just actually tried these because during my anorexia last year I wasn't able to try them because they became fear food, but most recently I've allowed myself to have them, and these are the sweet brioche style rolls, and they're a perfect size for a snack. And I usually top mine off with icing and sprinkles, and you can mix like ice buns with you can make chocolate eclairs with them, and they basically taste, I heat them up in the microwave actually for 30 seconds before I eat them, and they go really nice and warm, and they actually taste like a donut, and they're the closest thing I found to donut other than actually buying donuts from a wheat-free bakery, which is a really good bakery where they have, I'll leave a link in the description below, which is like, it's a wheat-free bakery that do like buns, they do sweet things, and the Empire biscuits are the best. They're so delicious. The only thing about that though is that if you live in the UK, you have to pay for mainland delivery, which is about £6, which is quite expensive for a delivery, but they deliver it straight to your door, and the products itself aren't expensive. You're mainly paying for the delivery charge because the place is actually in Scotland. But it's definitely worth it if you really crave a donut, because the donuts are really nice. Then another thing, these are actually from ASDA's own brand things, and that is the free from Crispbreads. So I actually love Schars of the Crispbreads, but ASDA's are equally as nice. I'd probably choose the Schars though over the ASDA ones, but unfortunately they didn't have them in stock today when I got this delivered, so they just give me their own make, and they're equally as nice, and these are perfect. I usually have some cottage cheese and cucumber, or you can make them more like a sweet snack by adding like a Nutella, or you can have them as like a lunch kind of thing by having like scrambled egg and like tomatoes or whatever. So you do whatever you want with them, and they're really perfect for a nice healthy snack. Then I have some Genius products, which are these Genius 6 gluten-free pancakes, and these are really nice. However, they can be quite dry, so you want to make sure that you have quite a lot of toppings on them. So I usually add golden syrup to mine. I pop them in the toaster for not too long though, because I've noticed that these burn really easily. So the Genius pancakes and crumpets are my favorites, although I know that a lot of people prefer the Waterman's gluten-free crumpets. I prefer the Genius crumpets. I don't really know why, but I've realized that they've changed the recipe, I'm pretty sure, most recently, and they have a lot more holes in the crumpets. But these pancakes are definitely perfect, and they can be for a snack or for breakfast. Then last but not least, we have a couple more snacks. So these are my favorite biscuit kind of related snacks. So other than the pre-Ritz biscuits, which you will see here, my go-to gluten-free biscuits are ASDA's own custard creams. I literally cannot tell the difference between like these taste exactly how I remember normal custard creams to taste. So I've tried the Schar gluten-free custard creams and I didn't like them at all. I don't think they resembled what I remembered a custard cream to be, but these, I cannot tell the difference. My dad, who is not celiac, my mom is celiac, but my dad isn't celiac. He's tried them and he literally said that I can't tell the difference either, and he really enjoyed them as well. And the only thing about these, I usually end up eating the entire box. Then here we have, basically these are a gluten-free Kit Kat alternative, and they're 5 Belgian chocolate twin wafer bars, and these basically taste like a timeout bar. I don't know if anyone in the UK remembers them, but they are really nice, and they're ideal for having in your packed lunch or a quick, like, perfect and with a cup of tea or whatever. Then last but not least, I've actually been sitting eating these now, so I've opened them up, so apologies about that. And that is the Zoo Animal Biscuits. So when I first tried these, I didn't like them. Actually, I thought they were really dry and I was like, ew. But then I started, I don't know why, but they've got like a really addictive kind of thing where you want to eat more and more and more. And like, I don't know why, but the taste is just really unique. I can't really compare them to anything else that I've tried, and they're gluten-free and milk-free, so they're perfect. And however, they do have eggs in, so they wouldn't be ideal if you were vegan or whatever. So they're not vegan, they're just gluten-free and lactose-free. But there's definitely something about them that are just really addictive. Another idea that I've had with these is to make, so in the UK we have these thing called Animal Biscuits, and they're biscuits with like chocolate on the back. These, sorry about that. These don't have chocolate on the back, so these are just plain biscuits. However, I've had the idea to actually, you know, dip some of these in chocolate and have them more like an Animal Biscuit, and I think that would be a really good idea if you want to go ahead and make your own little kind of snack things. And yeah, so that's like what I would say the cupboard kind of section is. For my favorite freezer foods, my favorite freezer foods so far are Schar's mini gluten-free pizzas, which are here. So these are the perfect size. The only thing about these pizzas that I found are that the toppings are really bad on them, and you often have to add more mozzarella cheese to them. But however, if you put them in the oven and you don't add extra toppings on, usually when the toppings melt on top of the pizza, it like goes, it looks more than it actually is, and you can do that if you don't want to add any more toppings onto the pizza. And then another thing that I absolutely love is ASDA's and Tesco's gluten-free chicken nuggets. They're my like go-to kind of favorite things. Another thing, the Aldi's tempura gluten-free chicken goujons that are naturally gluten-free. So they weren't meant to be gluten-free, but then loads of people noticed that they are gluten-free, and they are definitely another one of my favorite go-tos. ASDA's Southern fried chicken steaks is another one of my favorites gluten-free foods from the freezers. And I'm trying to think of something else. Ice cream wise, I absolutely love Halo Top. If you're not into all that low-cal ice cream kind of thing, whatever, I just generally prefer it because of the taste. And I know that someone might attack me being like, no it's not, it's assorted or whatever, but no, Halo Top is gluten-free, and birthday cake is actually gluten-free as well, and it's really nice. And if you're into Ben & Jerry's fish food is gluten-free. And I'm pretty sure they're bringing out a new flavor pretty soon as well that will be gluten-free. And yeah, that's a couple of my gluten-free favorites for 2019. Thank you guys so much for watching this video, and goodbye.